Alright, what's up guys? Welcome back to another Unicorn Overlord video. I'm going to take a look at some of my early game powerhouse squads that I've come up with. It consists mostly of story characters. I've only created a handful of mercenaries, so the majority of my army consists of story characters. First off, if you don't mind hitting that subscribe button, really appreciate it, helps me out. We just hit 1,000 subs recently, so now we're going to go for 2,000. And with that out of the way, this is one of my original just really powerhouse units that I came up with. That this was, I believe, the squad that I beat Galerius with on that first boss fight, because that is probably one of the most challenging fights so far that I've encountered in the game. So we've got the Gladiator, House Carl, the Sellsword, and a Cleric, and then a couple of them I've promoted. Since recording this, I promoted the House Carl to the Viking as well. But the point of this unit is to just use the beefiness and tankiness of the Gladiator to activate following slash from your Sellsword. And then on the Cleric we have the wand that gives her active heal, so she can heal 1 AP. And I have the tactics set up so that it's either going to heal, my frontliner if he needs it, or it's going to go to someone that just needs AP. So really, the Sellsword is going to do all your damage, pretty much, or the majority of your damage in this squad. And once she starts popping off, she can pretty much solo a squad as long as she does not die. So that's what we're using the Gladiator for here, is to just, tank all that. Like, you'll see her here. She's going to finish off the rest of the squad, like, no problem. Damage is just huge on the Sellsword, or the promoted Landsknecht, if I'm saying that right. And then the Viking, or the House Carl, he's going to give you just a lot of AoE damage, and armor debuffs, which also help the Sellsword, helps you deal with some of that armor. So moving on to my next unit here, this is my Air Force. So once you give enough divine shards to Oculus, or whatever her name is, she'll join your army. And at one point I was having just difficulty with a lot of cavalry units in some of the stages, so I created this squad just to hunt cavalry down, and then also having a couple units that have air, or a flying character as the party leader to traverse difficult terrain, so you can kind of get some flanking going on. You do have to kind of watch out a little bit. Archers are the bane of your existence for this squad. Oculus, if you're looking at her evasion or their hit chance on her, it's like 1%, or extremely low, just because the evasion gets doubled and she gets evasion buffs. So she can tank just about anything, and really the main point of that squad is to hunt cavalry. So here, looking again at this squad in action, you can see Rolling Axe just does massive damage to the front row, debuffs their armor, and then the Sellsword can just pop off. You've got massive, just lots of AoE cleave in this build to get everybody nice and low, so that the Sellsword can just start killing everything. If she hits on her following chain, she will gain AP, and if she gets the last hit or the killing blow with one of her active abilities, then that will also give her AP, or so she can basically self-sustain AP and PP as long as she gets those hits. So accuracy is a big stat for her, or for him if you got the male version. And then here, this started off as one of my weaker squads, and then quickly just kind of I kind of just threw a bunch of janky units together just to have another squad, and quickly evolved into one of my strongest now powerhouse units, and really can take on just basically anything. The only thing that is a little bit of an issue for this squad would be cavalry, and even cavalry, like, it can still fight at a decent level with, but everything else it pretty much annihilates because she's got True Strike on her counter ability, Virginia does. So that lets you take out air, and then she's got anti-air and anti-armor active abilities. So with the True Strike, she can take out scouts, she can take out air. Armor is not really an issue for her, and then she's got super high defense. I opted for one of the biggest things that helped that unit was switching the cleric over to having the protection ability, and then I'm focusing more on that than healing, because with that they really can't one-shot Virginia, and then she has that like healing passive that kicks in when she blocks, so I have that set to activate on like 75% health, and then same thing with healing from the cleric. Next up, taking a look here at my cavalry. So cavalry will basically destroy everything in the game through Cornea and most everything in Drakenhold. The only thing in Drakenhold is there is a lot more Wyvern riders, and they can be a little bit of a problem for your cavalry, but your cavalry are twice as fast, if not more, like 2 to 3 times as fast as every other unit in the game on the world map. So, or on the stage map, level map, whatever you want to call it. So you can basically pick all of your engagements. You can avoid the flying units if you want to, so you like it's not really as hard of a counter as you would think, because you can pick pretty much all your engagements if you play smartly and play your cards right, and you can just see there how much faster he is than everything else, so you can quickly just cover large terrain, like flank, mow down cavalry. It just gets pretty crazy. Also with the Swordmaster here, or Blade Master, I forget exactly what they call her, you know, I paired it up with a with Pursuit on Virginia here, and it was working pretty well, so like you get a lot of just extra attacks in there. I switched it over to a plus 40 counter attack Earring shortly after this video, and I'm kind of on the fence about which one I prefer. I've got to the point in the game where I'm fighting significantly more promoted units with 2+ AP, and so I did take it off because having the AP there for the counter attack, Maiden's Hammer, just seemed like a better use of the points than Pursuit, because it's just significantly more damage, it's True Strike, etc. And then I also have the passive points there for the defensive options, and you can just kind of see hear how Virginia just absolutely destroys air units. It's pretty fun, especially in Drakenhold, where those air units are so common, and they are a bit of a problem to deal with. Now this is another one of my units that has become pretty powerful and is one of my mainstays of my force. So I have another video, if you check out the last one, how I'm using this Wyvern Rider. I kind of forget some of the characters' names that are newer to the army, and I have it set up to where she can do a diving attack that hits an entire row and stuns, and it's pretty solid. She's a pretty solid tank. So Hilda, okay, that's her name. But anyways, that elf chick you can get if you just run into the elf area before you go to Drakenhold. She will join your party, and you can have her for all of Drakenhold for no investment basically. She's really strong, high offense. She's got good heals, just really good all-around character. So that's the point here. Also with the cavalry is just they have the fastest move speed, and then pairing it with the Magic Knight in the back. I'm forgetting some of the class names here. Forgive me. But she's got the row heal, so we've got all the knights up in the front row, and then I have them set up with like tankier options, and they still just mow down infantry because they do double damage to them. They all give each other cavalry call, which buffs all of their attack, and it stacks. So they just keep cavalry calling, buffing each other's attacks, and then when they charge and it hits a column, I mean, it just destroys everything. Once you do get to the point of promoting, I just wanted to point this out for anyone that's not there yet. Promote a lane first, because he will also get his horse or his steed on the world map, so you will just more quickly run around the world map. It'll save you time. He's also just ridiculously strong in all aspects. He's got good offense, good defense. He's fast as a leader with being a cavalry unit now. So with him, I equipped a counterattack belt. So not only does he have all of his other amazing abilities, I've got him set up with counterattack now and 4 passive points, so he can pretty much go ham. All of my other units have at least 2 promoted characters, at least of the units that I use regularly. I still use this unit regularly, and he's the only character that I've promoted so far. I will most likely promote the rest of them, but the way it works is Yana buffs him with her, she's got a couple different buffs, so he can do magic damage. You've got a couple heals and debuff removers, and then we've got Clive back there on his horse just doing, horse stuff. And probably eventually I'll put him on the front line and let him get some like cavalry call buffs. But that's it, guys. That's the video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you don't mind, hitting that subscribe button if you haven't already. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And remember to give them the D.